What if everything you believe to be true is shaped by subtle storytelling techniques you never noticed? Imagine a politician framing a tale so skillfully it changes public opinion overnight, and you don't even realize you've been swayed. If you've been watching this series, you know manipulators exploit cognitive biases and overload to control minds. But narrative framing? That's the master key to shaping reality itself. Stories are one of humanity's oldest tools. They weave meaning, shape society, and order our perceptions. Manipulators know this all too well. Picture a simple story crafted in politics or sales. A candidate frames their opponent as the outsider threatening the community's safety. Suddenly, apprehension ignites in voters' minds, often despite contradictory evidence. This is not mere persuasion, it's a deep psychological framing. In marketing, a product framed as limited edition feels more desirable, triggering urgency and scarcity mindset that compels immediate purchase. Just information manipulates your brain's processing of reality. This narrative framing shapes what you focus on, what you remember, and ultimately what you believe to be true. Here's the psychology: framing doesn't just influence what you see, it alters how you think. Through cognitive biases like confirmation bias, priming, and anchoring, framed narratives embed assumptions that guide your reasoning before you're even aware. When a story starts with a negative frame, for example, crime rates are skyrocketing, your brain sets a context that filters all subsequent information through a lens of threat and fear. This primes emotional responses and narrows attention, making contradictory facts less likely to register. Manipulators exploit this by presenting partial truths or emotional appeals wrapped in compelling frames, effectively hijacking your critical faculties. This covert cognitive engineering is a key weapon in the manipulator's playbook, steering beliefs and behaviors without overt coercion. But here's where it gets disturbing. Take recent political campaigns worldwide. Narrative framing is weaponized with surgical precision. A leader might be branded as a defender of tradition, or conversely as a threat to progress, depending on the agenda. The media amplifies these frames, selectively highlighting stories that reinforce the narrative while downplaying opposing views. This controlled framing creates echo chambers that reinforce group identities and distrust opposing groups. Companies use the same technique in advertising, framing a competitor's product as unsafe or inferior through insinuation rather than direct claims. These cases reveal the sheer scale of framing manipulation. It's everywhere, shaping public discourse and consumer habits on a massive scale, often beneath the surface of conscious awareness. And this is where the story takes a dark turn. Here's the dark ripple effect. Narrative framing doesn't just influence individuals, it fractures societies. By framing opposing groups as fundamentally different or dangerous, it deepens social divides and fosters an us versus them mentality. This polarizing framing fuels conflict, mistrust, and sometimes violence. Manipulators exploit identity-based fears and grievances, using frames that trigger tribalism and confirm group biases. Social media accelerates this process, rapidly spreading framed content that fans the flames of division. What's even more unsettling is how these narratives often appear authentic, cloaked in emotional truths that make rational critique difficult. The power of narrative framing to destabilize social cohesion is one of its most dangerous aspects. Now here's what nobody tells you, and the most dangerous part? Over time, this persistent framing erodes the foundation of truth itself. When every story is framed to serve an agenda, objective reality becomes a battleground of competing narratives. People lose trust not only in institutions but in each other, as the lines between facts and spin blur. This skepticism is exploited further by manipulators who dismiss inconvenient truths as fake news or biased, reinforcing tribal loyalty over evidence. The damage extends beyond politics and marketing. It seeps into personal relationships and community trust. The collective consequence is a fractured reality where manipulation thrives and social fabric unravels. Recognizing narrative framing is the first step in defense. Ask yourself, who benefits from this story? What assumptions are embedded? Practice critical thinking by seeking multiple perspectives and verifying facts beyond the frame. Resist emotional hijacking by pausing before reacting to framed messages. Cultivate media literacy to spot selective emphasis and omitted context. Strengthen your cognitive autonomy by questioning not just content but the structure of narratives presented to you. This mental shield helps dismantle manipulators' carefully crafted illusions and protects your perception of reality. We've uncovered how manipulators wield narrative framing as a potent weapon to hijack perception and deepen societal divides. But this is just one piece of a broader playbook. Next, we dive even deeper into the covert social engineering methods that exploit group psychology to control masses. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss what comes next.